This episode of Nerds on Coffee is brought to you by the Broglie Box. It is an all-inclusive quarterly subscription box designed to promote optimal mental health and overall wellness. Each beautifully designed box includes full-size curated gift items such as essential oils, stress and anxiety combating tools, coloring therapy books, candles, aromatherapy, journals, calendars, self-help guides, and more. Broglie Box products are sourced from well-known health and wellness brands, as well as small independent crafters and artisans. Each box also includes a quarterly issue of Peace of Mind magazine, featuring timely and useful articles, guides, and visual tools from a variety of published psychologists, psychiatrists, and mental health bloggers. Broglie Box is an all-encompassing resource kit for those who need support or want to help someone else. Right now, we're partnering with them and we're offering a promo code. So if you go to brogliebox.com and enter NERDS10, that'll get you 10% off your first box. And hopefully that will inspire you to want to continue the subscription, keep it going, give a box as a gift. Again, that's brogliebox.com. That's BROGLIEBOX.com. And enter in NERDS10, NERDS10. That'll get you 10% off your first box. Continue to dive in, learn about the company, learn about the box, and find out how you can use it for yourself or for someone else. And stick with us.
It's coffee. It's comics. It's music.
It's Nerds on Coffee.
1, 2, 3. Welcome.
Are we just going to start counting down from now on?
Oh, I thought that you were going to, not put that in there. But if you want to put that in there, you're totally okay, too.
It's going in there.
What's up, guys? First podcast back in the Burbank studio in about 2 months.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Been doing a lot of remote podcasts.
Yes.
We got a very special guest today. We got Secret Social Club. We have Wade and Steven in the room.
Hello there.
And, they're a really dope band that's signed exclusively to Hero Records for their first EP. We're doing a really dope music video-infused comic book to release with their first single, Gravity, coming out in October. We're pretty hyped on it. Kyle will be doing the sound engineering on the music video part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does all of our...
so.
I forgot to tell you that. He does all the sound engineering for the motion comics.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
any of the motion comics that you guys have seen from us, that's all Kyle doing the audio.
We're looking at him right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm here.
He's standing right in front of us.
So what... I kind of just want to jump into it and understand where the Secret Social Club is.
Where is it? Yeah.
It's everywhere, all the time.
Everywhere. Is that like a low-key way of being like, it's in you? The club is in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Wherever you are, that's
Yeah.
what the Secret Social Club
What do you
is.
think it means, Matt?
Ooh. I'm kind of an elitist. I thought it just meant that there's a really dope Secret Social Club somewhere, and I was just trying to get in.
Yeah. That's exactly what it means. Yeah.
It means whatever you want to
You
mean.
just tell people the other.
No, honestly, I had this idea of supervillain social club in my head because the idea of like all these comic villains playing pool together, I thought
Just
was
like hanging out, like at the end of a work day.
I thought would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we just didn't call the band that, but we thought of Secret Social Club, which I thought was kind of
It's cool. Yeah. That's really cool. I dig the name.
Yeah, the name's really what got me. It was pretty funny because the whole...
He's like, I don't even care what the music sounds like. I just like the name.
Well,
Like,
in a sense, it's kind of how it happened. So Don over at Sony calls me. I'm at Soho House just working. This is like 6-7 months ago, and he called me. He's like, "I need you to listen to this music right now," and I'm like, "Okay, why?" And before he answered, he hung up. So he sends me the music, and I listen to it. And the song I listen to is Gravity, and it's everything that's amazing about 90s rock.
oh, nice.
Everything that's amazing about it. It's just the
such a
best.
good
That
era
shit,
of
like,
music.
infused
Yeah.
with some really dope, like, future electronic production.
Okay.
So it's really dope. It's really dope. So I call him back. I'm like, okay, this is sick. What's up? He's like, I'm sitting here with the band, and they want to make comic books. And I was like, okay, well, let's set up a meeting.
Yeah.
And now 7 months later, deal's done. They're on the team. We're getting all the assets ready. We have an amazing treatment. We have an amazing comic book story. And, we're just producing it all right now,
Dude,
getting
that's
ready for
awesome.
October.
I have a really soft spot in my heart for 90s music. or
Yeah.
anything even remotely in the vein of 90s music.
He
like,
Yeah.
cares more about 90s Nickelodeon than 90s music, but
Me too.
I just want to make sure we're on
There's
the
Yeah.
same
just
page.
something you. I mean, obviously, I think you're 30, right?
Yeah, I'm
You just turned
30.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm 31. So I think we obviously grew up in the same.
oh, definitely.
And
Yeah, Double Dare
yeah,
or
it was
get
just,
the fuck out.
and it just made you happy. Like I remember
Totally
just that era just made me happy. You know.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
we
great.
both feel that way about
Yeah,
like the 90s.
Fun fact: I'd leave Home Improvement on for my dog.
Oh yeah, that is one of my
Just
all-time
rerun
favorite
it on
shows.
TV,
All-time
all
favorite
of them now.
shows.
Yeah,
I love Home Improvement.
The agency APA that most of our musicians are signed to for touring, they actually are a company because of the amount of money they've made off of Home Improvement. Ironically.
Wow.
Yeah, the syndication on that's wild.
That's amazing. I quote and or send Tim Allen, really Tim Taylor gifts like pretty routinely, almost weekly at this point. It's amazing. Yeah, I love that show. Couldn't have been a more like spot on reference for just like what I watched so much as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the family.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great.
Last week I watched like a 27-minute long video about like where the cast of Home Improvement is now. I swear.
And how it's really just how Tim Allen's the only one still
yeah,
just doing
it's
anything.
really sad. It really bummed me out.
Well, Tim Allen is in that special category for me of two epic franchises.
Oh,
right? So you have Home
yeah.
Improvement and you have Toy Story.
Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
and
Yeah.
like other people in that category is like Hugo Weaving, right? You
Yeah.
have Matrix and Lord of the Rings, right? Same with
Yeah.
with Keanu Reeves now. You have John Wick and Matrix,
And The Matrix,
right?
yeah.
So like there's like a very special person that has like the double like lightning strikes once, right? Because it's like
yeah.
like you have all these actors, like whether or not you loved or hated the Twilight movies, they made $1 billion, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
none of those actors, they're all trying to figure out what that next lightning is.
Oh, definitely.
Right, and that happens all the time, right? It's really
What even happened a lot with a lot of people from Harry Potter.
totally
Like,
none of the all. I mean, even Emma Watson hasn't hit lightning twice, even though she's the most famous.
Definitely. I mean, and she has had continued success, but I think
But
you're
not
right.
lightning
but you're right.
success.
It's not in the same vein.
Right.
Like it's not in the same vein.
And like Orlando Bloom, ironically, has had lightning success.
yeah.
Yeah, you have Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yep.
and you have
Definitely. Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
You know who else randomly was able to get that is Viggo Mortensen with Green Book because he has 2 Best Pictures now.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
'cause-
he also had Lord of the Rings.
Right, and he had
like,
Lord of the
yeah,
Rings.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you were in one of those epic movies,
Basically, what we're saying is just be in Lord of the Rings. Do that.
you know who else actually from Harry Potter did get lightning twice? Let's see if he gets it. He won't get it, but I'm gonna have to spoil it for him.
Gary Oldman.
Fuck, he got it.
It's because Sirius Black could do no wrong.
He got some serious blacking of Commissioner Gordon.
Yep. He was in all the Christopher Nolan Batmans, and then he did Harry Potter, and then he was also he did a fantastic role in Book of Eli.
Yes, he was great.
Super
Gary
good in
Oldman
Book of
is
Eli.
low-key savage.
Dude, he can do. He even though I don't think he's really anything like Daniel Day-Lewis, they're the same category of person to me, like category of actor. Even though I know Gary Oldman's not as like hardcore method actor as Daniel Day-Lewis, but well, let's get back to Secret Social Club. So, how did the band kind of start? You are from Anaheim, Wade,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah. So, man, how did this start? It was really weird. So I was in a band. It wasn't even a band. It was an idea called Some Devils, and it was like a metal core project.
That's great. Love the name. Again, you're really good at naming bands.
we put
Yeah.
I think we put 6 months into naming Secret Social Club
It's
before
fantastic.
that was like the one thing
Well,
holding
because
us
you
back.
got to sit. It's time consuming because you got to sit on it and like try it out, like telling some
Yeah.
people and like see how you feel out after a couple months.
Well, and then as soon as you think of a cool one, you have to go search
You're like,
Google and see like, all right,
Damn
what's
it,
going
is
on?
it
You know?
copyrighted? Yeah. What asshole owns this? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But you assholes own that. So there's somebody else now that's like Secret Social
Yeah,
Club would be a dope
got 'em.
band name, and looking it up and they're like, what assholes own this? It's y'all.
Yeah. Because I think we originally wanted to name it Social Club. We just wanted to call it the Social Club.
That's also a great name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was these like it was like a hip hop artist.
It's a little too broad. Like
Yeah. And so anyway, this hip hop artist changed their name to something else, and so I even reached out to him. I was like, hey, we're thinking about this name. Like, are you have any interest in selling it or
Do you have-
whatever?
yeah.
And never even got back to us. So like a month later, we were just like, all right, well, we'll just call it this instead. So
Fine. Yeah, cool. And
That's
to this day,
amazing.
he still hasn't gotten back to you.
No, yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
That's awesome.
but yeah, no, we had that project, and we were actually recording it in England.
Okay.
My buddy Sam, one of my very good friends, is in a band called Asking Alexandria.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Asking Alexandria.
Yeah.
I came up in the metal world.
Oh,
Like,
awesome.
Like years before I came, like it was in the pop world and then
Cool.
like toured with pop artists. Like I came up in the metal world.
Same,
Like,
yeah.
was in metal bands. Like I still write metal music today and like produce and stuff. Actually, the session that I have tomorrow is with a guy that has like an instrumental metal record.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love it, and so it was cool because I was friends with him, and we had this idea. We were trying to talk about where we should record it, and a few of his friends back home who worked on one of their older songs decided to take it on. So we went over there, recorded it, and then we wanted to do some more when we got back, and they were too busy. So we went out and recorded with Matt Good, who did Asking Alexandria's last 2 albums
Right.
now. And from there, Steve came on board. Andy was a part of Some Devil, so everything just kind of tied together.
That's
and,
cool.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no really set way of like how we all came to be. We're just happened to be here.
It just happened.
Yeah,
it's like
really
one, kind
cool.
of one
Yeah.
thing kind of led to another, and you just like you develop content.
Yeah.
People come on board, push the project out.
Like
yeah.
I honestly speaking, I don't have no idea how I know Andy.
Ah.
I'm trying to think of like I can't remember.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
into your life.
Well, we'll just put a
Yeah.
filter on when we release this episode to where just like he can't see it, and so we just won't know. And so we'll just be like, yeah, solely to save you from being like, I don't know how I know you.
No, yeah,
Like-
I'm trying to think of how we met. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. And he's from Wisconsin too, so it's even more like.
What a random.
Yeah.
You know what?
I know everything about the guy. Yeah.
You
weird.
said Wisconsin yesterday. I was like, I'm not even joking, like daydreaming about like cheese curds. Because that's pretty much like Wisconsin, like Montana, kind of like that area,
Mm-hmm.
like Wyoming. Like, that's pretty much the only area of the country you can get like real cheese curds,
Yeah.
like deep fried. Sometimes they're with brie, sometimes they're with cheddar, but they're so good. And I was straight up daydreaming about them yesterday, and you said Wyoming. Wisconsin, and my brain just went
Cheese curds.
cheese curds.
I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's super
so-
cool. So yeah, it's weird that you know the Asking Alexandria guys. Like I don't really think about like that side of the music industry a lot
Yeah.
anymore because I don't work in it
Yeah.
anymore. Like, but whenever people like say metal, like anything about metal or metal bands, instantly like because I listen to metal every day. Every day.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Tesseract is one of my favorite bands in the world. Monuments is one of my favorite bands in the world. Like obviously we all love Meshuggah and everyone is trying to rip them off in the metal world. But that's okay. It's Meshuggah. But like I'm a huge metal fan.
Yeah,
Love metal.
likewise.
But I don't ever talk to anybody about it because I don't work on that side of the industry.
Yeah.
I work on the pop side of the industry. So anytime someone says metal, it's like a dog. Whenever they hear like a bell, like my ears perk up. I'm like, oh shit. Like
Yeah.
if I had tail, it would just be like, like it's great. I love
And
metal.
it's funny to see how many people work in both worlds. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot
There's
of people
some-
that
there's some
you know,
crossover for
I remember being
sure.
a kid. I'm sure you felt this way too. Growing up, you were like, if you didn't listen to certain bands, you weren't cool anymore. Where if
I
I would
know.
have said like, yeah,
Definitely.
I really love Backstreet's Back and Bye Bye Bye,
Oh,
and I
definitely.
love Pennywise, and
You couldn't talk about that though. Yeah, it was so polarized.
Yeah.
You straight up could not be like,
I couldn't
hey,
even
like,
say I liked Blink 182.
oh yeah,
at
no,
my
I know because
school.
punk is like
How
not
dare
metal.
they.
Yeah.
like yeah,
Why
if-
couldn't you?
Because they were sellouts.
well,
Yeah.
because metal,
They weren't real punk.
like metal.
What about Avenged Sevenfold?
Oh, like hardcore, like metal elitists, like are not Avenged Sevenfold fans because they're way too commercial.
Really?
Yeah, like metal
How
is like
dare
one
all
of
of
the
these
most
people.
like
I love them.
I love
metal. I
them
love
too.
Avenged
Yeah.
Sevenfold too. Like I've gone like over the years. Sounds like you guys are the same. Like over the years, like you just kind of get to the point where like it all has merit. Like I'm not gonna like we all lose if we start drawing lines in the sand and saying you can't come over here.
Yeah.
like that's like, such a bullshit way to approach it.
Yeah.
But metal has been an extremely divisive and exclusive industry.
Yeah.
Like in regarding the fan base, because fans will literally be like, well, I am a Lamb of God fan, and if you like Avenged Sevenfold, I'm not. I don't even respect your taste in anything.
Yeah.
Like they straight up have that mentality, and it sucks.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Like,
it's unfortunate that people still think
and I mean,
that way,
and I'm not trying to shit on metal because a lot of genres and industries are like that.
Yeah.
K-pop is weirdly like that. K-pop fans will start like turf wars. Weird. Like online too, dude. Go on to like BTS's Instagram and like see comments and stuff like that. Like it's outrageous.
Crazy.
If you can read Korean, but no, everything's in English. I think. Yeah, that's strange. Is it like that in the electronic music world?
What?
Like fans like shitting on like other artists and like not, but like
Yeah.
like do they have like these weird loyalties?
There's,
Like,
I mean, the subgenres in dance music are outrageous, and then like
oh, I know that.
the
Other
trans
than metal,
fans
like other
and
than metal,
the trans
electronic
fans
music
don't-
has the most subgenres of anything on
Yeah.
this planet. Like,
the trans fans don't like the heavy fans or the hard style fans, and
and Paul Oakenfeld just hates them all.
yeah, exactly. No, it's
Do you get like that though? Like, do you have your favorites, or is it all just
It's
you
all
like
love.
that? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I've gotten, and
Yeah.
things have just gotten so much more enjoyable over the years. Whenever you're just
Same.
like, I like it all.
Writing gets easier when you think
Definitely
that way.
does.
You know, like
Definitely does.
every song we've gone to in the studio to record over the last few times we've gone in, we were like, all right, let's do a heavy song. Let's go do a heavy song, and then we get in there, it's like. Ba, 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 you know, and then we're stoked on it. We're like, this
We're
is
like,
the best
it's
song
okay.
ever. Yeah. And
This is how it came out. We
Yesterday
love
it
it.
was
Cool.
literally ding dong, ding ding dong.
yeah. It was something really close to
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
chorus.
Ding,
That's
ding,
great.
ding, ding,
But
dong.
it's amazing, and it's gonna be
Hey,
sick.
if it works, it works.
Yeah,
If it works, it
yeah.
works, man. Yeah, I just hate that. There's just like we all lose if we start putting walls up and telling people that like they're wrong because they have a different opinion. Like
Yeah.
people suck, man.
Yeah,
Fuck
I mean,
people.
I got into music because I liked so many different things.
Exactly.
I liked Elton John, Slayer, AC/DC, Coolio.
1,000%
you know.
the same. 1,000% the same.
Yeah, I
I
love.
will say for the metal community, like the musicians and the people that are like really in the industry, they've definitely come a long way.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it is definitely.
Well,
It's more the
that
fans. It's
don't
more the
really
fans. Yeah.
understand that
Yeah.
there's
No, yeah, I'm not talking about musicians. I think it's actually, I would say, people are less welcoming to metal than most metal fans are welcoming to other music, because I feel like metal
Yeah.
is just every other type of music, just harder, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. No, I think every musician I know that plays metal for a living, like loves just music. Like every time, like Sam
Definitely.
is like one of those guys where I'll send like just stuff where I'm like,
Oh
hey,
yeah,
what do you
they
think
just
about
like
this?
music,
Yeah.
and they're also like struggling to make it because it's so hard to make money in metal.
Is
Like
it?
unless
Yeah.
dude, unless you're like at the top of the food chain, like dude, it's tough to make money in metal unless you are a heavy signed act.
Yeah.
Like it's just hard. Like I feel bad for these metal bands that I like because like metal bands that are kind of like big dogs in the industry, like aren't on tour buses. They're not flying around.
Yeah.
Like they got low per diems. They're not making a ton of money when they come home. A lot of them have jobs whenever they get back. They do other things, which like a lot of people do. A lot of people do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is not metal exclusive, but it's just sad because it's just such a passionate genre.
Yeah.
It sucks that like that doesn't get outputted whenever they like put all that work in, just because it is a smaller fan base, and like just like a massive metal show will still be like maybe 2,000 people, 3,000 people in a theater, whereas a massive pop show is a 50,000 seater arena.
Right.
Like metal bands are not selling out arenas.
Yeah.
You know, like Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Like bands like that are like Metallica, Megadeth, like these older classic metal bands definitely because they came up in that. But like even newer like metal bands, like it's tough. Like you do have to get like that radio level of success.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's hard, and it just I could feel bad because like I want them to like be more successful because like I love it. But
yeah.
it's
And
hard.
they're the
It's just
best
hard, man.
musicians too.
They're
Yeah.
so super talented,
Yeah.
super technical, like really committed, like way more dedicated than a lot of other players across the industry that I know.
Yeah, like
You know.
I grew up in like the hardcore straight edge era
Oh,
of
yeah.
metal in California, and it was like that's what got me into music. You know, like bands like Bleeding Through and Atreyu, even, and 18 Visions was a huge one.
Loved 18 Visions, yeah.
You know, Throwdown. I used to like,
Right,
those-
yeah.
you know, that's what got me really invested in the music. That's why I got my first drum set. And,
Oh yeah,
You know.
that's why I wanted to start like playing in bands and stuff. Was like bands like that.
Blink 182 was like made me want to write. bands like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like Green Day, Blink. That was like, all right, I love these
They're
songs.
such great songwriters.
Yeah,
like,
and then metal just made me want to turn it up loud and
definitely.
It made me want to be like more of a performer, I guess.
Absolutely. Oh, to this day, like if I'm out on the road, like I did one of the artists that I work with. We were direct support on the Katy Perry tour last year, and like every day I'm just like before shows I'm like listening to metal and I'm like sound checking with like I kind of like once we kind of got dialed in, I would like I would just play heavier stuff.
Yeah.
During sound check for fun, just being stupid, and everyone was just like, all the crew guys are just like, hey, man, I love that song. I'm like, yeah, like.
I would go as far as saying anybody that can play metal would. Like if you had a choice, okay, here, perfect example. If you had a choice to play any type of music for the rest of your life and be financially stable playing it, what genre would it be?
Oh, it would probably be metal. Because
100%.
Because I like metal.
Yeah.
And I'm really emotionally invested. It's the most satisfying to me.
Yeah, I want to get on stage and like
exactly.
Yeah.
I've honestly never had more fun in my life. Like for example, like I did the last arena tour I did was incredible. But it still didn't make me feel as surreal an experience as that was, and it's like thankful I am for that experience. Still, thinking back, didn't make me feel the way I felt whenever I was like 20, and got on stage in like a hardcore band, and I was in a club with like 200 people, and everyone was just 6 inches away from everybody else, and it was just super fucking hot, and like dude, you just lose it. Like I honestly feel like I was more excited, more jittery, more anxious, more just amped and pumped to walk onto that stage than I was in, like the Rod Laver Arena in Perth. Like, it's just, even though that was amazing, it's just more, it's like, even though I love it, it's work now.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, it's work. It doesn't take away from how much I love it. Yeah, definitely. It was just raw emotion.
Yeah, it kind of takes it away from me a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because there's so many other things that go into it. It's not just like, oh, I get to go play this fun show. It's like, oh, well, we have to do a lot of work to get to here. Yeah. And there's a lot of shit that if it goes wrong, like I will not get called back.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's just this
there's
pressure.
More stress,
it's like,
more pressure, stress, things that go into it.
Even though you're performing, it's really amazing. It's more like being an extension of like a marketing team of like putting this product out to a group of people and being like, hey, see how awesome this is? Now go buy it. Like, but having said that, I still love it. Like, I'm not taking away from it even remotely. There's somebody who's going to be listening and be like, whatever, man. Like, I took like pop shows all the time. They're dope. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I just said that. But like, yeah, no, they are super dope. But like,
no,
it's how I make a living now. And so it's work. It's like I have to care in a different way than whenever I was 20 and got my first 7-string and was just like, we're going to just go smash.
Yeah. No, my favorite thing, like my favorite live band to see is Asking Alexandria, just because it's like, I don't get many opportunities to go see heavy bands that play in big venues like that. So like it's cool because I've been seeing them play like club and then like bigger clubs and like like big like theaters, and now they're playing arenas with Papa Roach. And I'm gonna see them on that. It's like, so sick.
Yep.
So
awesome.
There's just something about hearing that. I remember seeing Slayer at the Hollywood Amphitheater or Gibson Amphitheater when it was called that.
Oh, yeah.
At Universal, and I got punched in the face by a 70-year-old woman. It started raining blood when they played Raining Blood. I was drenched. Like, my parents picked me up, and they just I looked like I went to war. I just had, like, my clothes were ripped. My brother's, like, crying at me, like, what are you doing?
You've got, like, a Civil War, like, splint on one of your legs and, like, a half crutch, and you're, like, hobbling back out of the parking lot. You're like, I'm ready to go home.
There's nothing better being 17 and in a mosh pit.
Dude, there's nothing better, man. I remember the first time I went to a show that actually participated in, like, moshing and, like, a wall of death and, like, crowd surfing, like, stage diving stuff. I think it was a, shit, what is this band called? It was a Darkest Hour show.
Oh, okay.
So I went to go see Darkest Hour and A Plea for Purging, and it was just bananas. Like, oh my gosh, it was insane. Like a wall of death. This was a small club, and it was terrifying. I can't imagine being at like Rock am Ring in Germany, like Lamb of God's on stage, and there's 70,000 people, and like Randy Blythe is like wall of death, and you're like, holy shit, this is the Crusades. Like that's what it's like.
There's this A Day to Remember video from that same festival. And
oh really?
It is the gnarliest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how they're I don't know. I'm gonna sound like a nerd if I say that, but like, how are they allowed to do that? Who lets them do that?
No,
where are their mothers?
Say it. Who lets them do that? That is like extremely ill-advised. But people love it.
Well, I heard a rumor that like Corey Taylor had to go to jail one night because he had this thing where he kept asking people, Slipknot, to get on the ground, to sit on the floor in the fire department. It was like a fire hazard.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and like he got in trouble. He went to jail for this. Is I don't, this isn't confirmed,
right?
But like I've heard the story growing up, so I'm gonna tell myself it's true. But I heard he went to jail.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because it was in, and I think it was in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'll look it up later.
Dang,
but,
man.
Yeah, for having people sit on the ground. Now you're having 1,000 people on this side and 1,000 people on this side running full speed into each other, and this guy's going to jail because he made someone sit down. You know?
I know, it's so
crazy.
Weird. Slipknot's another one of those like really commercially successful metal bands, and like underground metal scenes get shit on a lot.
I love them.
But Slipknot's got like Mick Thompson is like an incredible guitar player.
Yeah,
and Corey Taylor's a great songwriter.
He's the
great
best
singer.
Frontman. Yeah,
he's so good.
Him and Dave Grohl are just like my like two favorite frontmen that I've ever seen.
Yeah, both of those guys actually have a lot of similarity. Who? Oh, Jim Root. Dude, I love Jim Root. Yeah. Matt hasn't even been a part of this episode like the whole time. And I can't decide if it's because he's like, oh, well, I don't really have much to contribute to the metal conversation, so I'm going to do some work on my phone. Or it's like, I'm so busy. Thank God you're talking about something I don't have a lot to invest in.
A little bit of both. I mean, I definitely focused on that when you went south on the metal conversation.
Oh, you know that's like...
Because I had nothing to contribute there.
Well, Matt knows that that's like Pandora's box of conversations with me. Like if someone's like, hey, like, have you ever heard of metal music? And I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow, Matt. Like, yeah, dude, I love it so much.
I gotta break out though too. So
oh no!
You can come in.
Yeah, I'll come in now. You guys
take my spot. Bye, everybody. Peace.
Well, thank you for the short-lived section of talking about Secret Social Club. We'll have you back on. We'll do another episode. Dude, thanks for making the trek.
Love you, man.
All right, yeah. So sorry we had to cut, but you won't know because I edit a lot. I know we do that a lot. We'll be like, especially like early on in the podcast, we would cut a lot because we'd be like, oh my gosh, you have to watch this trailer when you talk about it. And be like, oh, well, I haven't seen it. And we would just watch it, and I would edit it out and be like, all right, guys, we're gonna be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna go watch a movie trailer so we can talk about it. Holy crap, that was really cool, guys! I just watched this movie trailer. It was like, I just cut everything out. So I will do that here.
We should just make up a lie and be like, sorry, Steve had to leave abruptly and make up like...
Steve died.
Yeah.
His
crabs was flaring up.
Exactly.
That's exactly
He had to go
right.
get some ointment.
Ointment. That's amazing. So we've been talking a lot about metal, but Matt's been like yearning to tell me this thing. He was just like, dude, I can't wait to tell you this piece of information, but I have to tell you on the show so I can get your reaction. And what's going to be really ironic is if I think it's super lame and just like,
He's definitely not. This is so amazing. He has no idea he literally has no idea how much he's about to laugh.
I don't, because you haven't told me anything.
So Marvel announced a bunch of movies. They announced the new Thor movie that I just said, Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
You didn't say new Thor movie?
I did when you walked over there.
Oh.
Thor, Love and Thunder, where Natalie Portman's going to pick up the hammer.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's dope.
They announced Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which would be unreal.
That's going to be incredible.
They announced that they're in pre-production for Fantastic Four in the MCU.
A good one?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's about time.
And they announced pre-production on Spider-Man 3, Guardians 3, Black Panther 2, and Captain Marvel 2.
So ready for Black Panther 2.
But one specific thing that they announced was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I know you do not know this story in Marvel Universe, because if you did, you would have already said this to me.
Right.
So in the Legend of the Ten Rings, the Mandarin from Iron Man 3, the real Mandarin, is actually Shang-Chi's arch nemesis and Iron Man's arch nemesis. And they're searching for the Ten Rings of Power.
Gotcha.
Right, it's very Thanos-y.
Sure.
But when in the story, when they find the 10 Rings of Power and unlock the power and unlock the secret temple that houses the power, do you want to know what they find? That reptilians are taking over everything. 100%.
Nah.
100%. 100%.
No way. Dude.
How worth it was that?
Wade, we have talked about reptilians so much on this show. I'm surprised that people have just not unsubscribed by the 100 at this rate. But we have talked about reptilians, and I have become like low-key infatuated with the conspiracy because I think it is so ridiculous. I found out about the existence of the conspiracy on the show, went down a whole deep dive. We've talked about it a lot. We reference it a lot. We make a lot of jokes. Like, it's like, honestly, it's like ingrained into the fiber of Nerds on Coffee of like talking about the reptilian conspiracy.
I'm just finding out about this right now.
Yeah,
as
So
well.
yeah.
I don't know, yeah.
in the story, they're called the MacLuin. This is what they look like, and read the first line. Read it for everybody.
Okay, so here, the Makluan are a reptilian alien race. They are a much older race than humans, at least countless billions older. So, what a weird way to word that. Like the way that they said it was like they're much older than the humans, and like the cadence of that sentence made it sound like they were gonna say like they're much older than humans, at least like a few thousand years older.
Yeah.
At least countless billions older.
I feel like they could have just went straight to that.
They could have just
Yeah,
said
they definitely-
they could
countless
have just
billion
said
years older
they're
than humans.
countless billions years older.
Yeah.
Like that looks pretty dope though. Like if reptilians, the way that they've been conceptualized over the development of the conspiracy, looked the way they do in this comic art right here, I would be way more on board. I'd be like, I want to be one. Like, is there an application process? Like, I will submit a resume. I'll get some references. Like, I'll do that. I'll be one of those. I cannot believe this. So this is going to be like this is going to be a plot
movie.
This is going to be a plot line in the MCU.
Three movie plot line. When I saw they announced that, I was crying, dude. Because the only reason I know the story is because they put out 5-6 years ago. I don't know. Let me look at the release date. There's a TV show called Iron Man Armored Adventures.
Well, we've talked about this. Yeah.
Right.
It's animated, and the reptilians are in that.
Right.
Like, yeah.
They are. This is that series. But,
Oh, gotcha.
But the story of Shang-Chi is intertwined with Iron Man in the comics.
Okay.
So the fact that they're doing it without Iron Man is interesting.
Okay,
They're
yeah,
probably just going
sure.
a different route.
Sure. Well,
But that's why I know about the story is because in Iron Man Armored Adventures, that's where you find out about it.
gotcha.
That's the 10 Rings of Power.
Well, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Endgame, like,
I've seen it.
yeah,
Dumbledore
I've
dies.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, they have to continue independent from Iron Man with these new releases because Iron Man is dead. So, yeah, I don't know how they would do that unless they continued with Pepper or, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't think she's, like, a viable alternate, or War Machine, I mean, I guess, but, like, I don't know. That's bizarre. I cannot believe that they're reptilians. Like, dude, we've invested so much time into this.
What is the conspiracy?
So the essentially,
in a
Do
nutshell.
you want to do this?
No.
Do you
No, because
wanna
you've
do
already
this?
done it.
No.
No,
You've already
it's
done
our
it.
#1 streaming episode.
yeah, but that's
Straight up.
because we just that's because we force feed it to our listeners, not because they probably enjoy
Everybody
it.
loves conspiracy.
No,
I
that-
love conspiracy.
No,
See,
we do
literally,
too.
We started an episode, hour in. We're about to finish.
We're literally like saying
I
goodbye.
thought he knew what the reptilian conspiracy was.
Right.
He did not. He thought I was bullshitting him. 20 seconds later, I Googled top thing is 13 reasons you know you're a reptilian. And he's like, oh, hell
I think it
no.
was. I think it was 10. Yeah. Well, you googled like top conspiracies, and it was like number 1 or 2
yeah,
on the list.
yeah.
Right.
It was like very high on the list of like the
So he
top
just read
conspiracies.
all the 10 things
So for the next
for another hour.
the episode went on for another hour. Did not edit it. We're just like,
It was the funniest
here you
shit
go,
ever,
guys.
dude.
Sorry, but then we cut that out and also released it as its own standalone episode of just the reptilian conspiracy.
Right.
But so in a nutshell, these people believe that reptilians like are an alien race that came to Earth, and like they're like shapeshifters, and like some people could be reptilians and not know it. Other people are reptilians in disguise, and they're trying to like take over the Earth like through our
Okay.
culture. That is like the most like
Broad.
broad
blanket statement.
like just elevator pitch,
yeah.
like bullet point of
Okay,
the
I get it.
conspiracy. So
I
like
get it.
that's the basic premise. So Yeah, there's just like the conspiracy is just like you start to read through it. Like, dude, we went in hard, and like it gets crazy.
It's absolutely
crazy.
insane. And then right now, just in case if I get quiet, I'm looking at art from UT for Chapter 5 because he has not slept in 30 hours, and he said he would not sleep until he finishes it, and he just sent me an updated render, so I'm making sure there's no edits. It's 6 a.m. there. We have been constantly talking about this since 6 p.m. his time.
That's insane.
And look at it.
That's like I like the terrace.
It's Angelica's house.
Yeah, that's dope. So this is art for
Beyond Kuiper.
Beyond Kuiper,
Right.
one of the novels that Matt and John Connolly, who was a previous guest on the show, are writing. So that art looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't see any edits except for the ones I've already sent him.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
So I take it you guys
Yeah.
don't agree with the conspiracy.
I'm a reptilian, 100%.
Are you?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. Lion reptilian.
There's no way that I mean, obviously I don't believe most conspiracies, to be honest with you, even though I give them a lot of time because I'm infatuated with the premise of someone being that invested in like there being a secret truth out there that
Right.
everyone is covering up. And I'm like, in order for almost any conspiracy to be true, do you have any idea how many hundreds of thousands of people would have to be involved in it globally and agreeing that they're going to like stick to this? Like mathematically, it is not impossible, but it is very aggressively not probable.
For what?
Like, for almost any conspiracy to
So
be true.
aliens, like you're out.
No, I believe in aliens. I don't think that's
Okay,
conspiracy.
so that's not a conspiracy.
I don't think
anymore.
that's a
I
conspiracy.
don't think so either. Yeah, I think that's just
straight up think
coffee
that's just
talk,
like,
you know?
yeah, aliens
aliens
are
exist,
real.
100%.
yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's a conspiracy. And people would be like, well, no, it is a conspiracy because it can't be proven. It hasn't been proven. Like, no, it has been proven. There's fucking shit all over this planet. Like,
Right.
I am convinced. I know I'm literally making a conspiracy argument right now. But, like, I was about to, like, go into just the verbiage of how I was about to talk about it, how I was about to, like, launch into my viewpoints of my argument. I'm literally the archetype for a conspiracy theorist in this the statement that was about to happen. Having said that, I'm on board with aliens. That shit is absolutely real. But some of them are just like so ridiculous. Like, but here's the thing with conspiracies though. Like you just heard my opinions about how I feel about conspiracies, but then the other side of it is like this is how they get you. They suck you in because there are always these little snippets of like reason in them, and you're like, yeah, well that makes sense. And you like pull the thread, and you're like, well, I mean, like if that's true, then like this next point makes sense, and then this next point makes sense, and it's just like. Oh man, it's like bowling. It's like you have to you have to knock down the first pin, and then all the ones behind it will fall down. But like if you get past that first one, like you're done. You're gonna be leading the fucking meetings of these conspiracy groups. Like, if you know what I mean. So it's like as much as I like hate. I think that's really what it is. Like I kind of despise like conspiracy culture, like people that like identify as conspiracy theorists, even though like you're finding out in real time I low key kind of am one now, but like, but like I kind of don't. I just really like don't really like the culture, and I think that that's true for like most things. That like if I'm being honest with myself, I actually like, but I really don't like the culture or the subculture or the fans or the participants or the users or like anybody. You know what I mean?
What's
like
your least the one you hate the most? If there's one conspiracy you could just get rid of, what would it be?
I'm just so tired of hearing about like 9/11 conspiracies.
Yeah.
They got rampant. And that's actually what I was thinking of whenever I was just like, yeah, I believe that there are aspects of our government that are like really corrupt and evil and like that have like ulterior motives for everything that they do because people are broken and people are imperfect and selfish and people only want to like line their pockets and be powerful. So like that's true. That is provable. It is irrefutable. We all have some version of that in ourselves. I believe that it's an innate human response to be that way. I think that I believe that people are innately bad and have to work to be good. That just tells you a lot about me and like how I view the world, but like I believe that you have to like I think that some people are a lot better at being good than others, but I think that humans are innately bad. And my point is proven every day whenever my son, who knows almost nothing, my 2-year-old son who knows almost nothing about the world or culture or life, like rejects me and gets angry and like disobeys and throws fits and like will get mad and want to like hit my wife if he's throwing a fit or hit me if he's wanting to throw a fit. You know what I mean? Like,
that
dude, he's
son of a.
yeah, son of an Amanda.
Have you ever said that instead of son of a bitch?
I don't know.
I think that should be your new go-to.
Son of Amanda. Yeah.
That's great.
No, but that's
like it flows. It has a good phonetic.
it's really good. Well, it's because of Amanda's name.
Right,
Like Amanda's name is like that. Yeah.
Phonetically, it's a good name.
Super good.
Yeah.
No,
Because
but
it's
like
a man.
I
Duh.
believe. Man, duh.
I get what you mean, though. Yeah, 100%.
I think people are inherently bad, and like that. Whenever you say that to people who don't agree with you, they think that you're saying that everyone's evil and like has evil intentions and motives. And like I definitely don't think that's true. But I think that like if you're like when people are born, and then they grow up. You have to teach them how to, like, I don't have to teach my son how to be angry. I have to teach him how to be kind.
Right.
Like, and that's just human nature. That doesn't mean that my son is a bad person or he's going to be a bad person. That just means that I think inherently our natural response is to be selfish, like from birth.
Yeah.
Like our natural response is to think about us and to think about what we can do for me, how I can be happy. And if that doesn't go well, then I'm going to be upset and I'm going to let that out. And the only way that I know how to let it out, which whenever you're younger is like, is fits or you're yelling or anger or hitting. And it's like, and so it's for that reason, like being a parent sheds a lot of perspective or like sheds a lot of light on that and gives me perspective. And like, I believe that people are just inherently selfish and prideful. And like, that's why you have to parent children. Mm-hmm. You know, if they weren't, then you just would help them like not die and be like, hey, like, what do you want? Like, you like math? Cool. Like, let's go to school. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be less intense of a job if you didn't have to show them how to function in society and care about someone other than themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's for that reason.
So you think a lot of conspiracy theorists are people that just feel like they're just trying to make money off it, which they, of course.
Yeah,
are,
I definitely think that that's true. You know, like
most of the time, it's for money. But then you meet people like Bob Lazar.
Oh yeah, and you're like, this motherfucker is.
Did you see that shit?
This guy is real.
Let's just talk about Bob because I could go on. I watched that shit and I just went down a rabbit hole.
I know about him, but I think I've watched one of the documentaries like a long time ago with my brother-in-law, who's also a big conspiracy theorist, very into aliens. Coincidentally, also a big Joe Rogan fan. And like, I also don't think that's a coincidence. I think there's a huge correlation and overlap between people who like Joe Rogan and people who are into conspiracies and aliens. Because Joe Rogan's basically like, what do you think of whenever you think of Joe Rogan? I don't think of like, oh, UFC or Fear Factor. I think of, oh, that guy is into conspiracies and aliens.
Yeah.
Well, probably because I listen to Joe Rogan a lot.
He's like a modern day like philosopher, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know? He's like a
social
2019 philosopher. What if this?
He is Plato of our generation.
Yeah.
Well, he's a great.
I was gonna say
he's
Socrates,
a really he's a really great Socrates.
Socrates.
He's a really great writer. I mean, and even listening to his comedy and his stand up, like there's a lot of like wisdom and like how he views the world and like how he processes things. And even though it's shrouded in this like kind of like aggressive comedy and like you may not agree with everything he says, but he's actually a very reasonable, like well-adjusted person who has actually pretty great perspective on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just people just don't like how he talks, and so they write him off, or they don't like his show, or they think it's like, well, you're like a pop culture personality and like you're famous, or like you're so your opinion doesn't matter. You know, and it's like. You know, so I don't actually know if people think that about Joe Rogan. I just know that like there's usually no middle ground.
I think I've never met anybody who's like, fuck Joe Rogan. You know, everybody's like, you know, I saw this thing on Joe Rogan last week. It's like,
yeah, I think liberal women do not like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, okay, true, yeah.
I think really liberal women probably don't like Joe Rogan.
And I think that Joe Rogan does not like really liberal women.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's very fair.
But I think
I should rephrase. I don't know many men, I should say, that have like.
Yeah.
They always find. He always has something for every.
But here's the thing. I think that it's
super funny.
I think that's okay for that to happen, for there to be discourse.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I don't like Oprah. You know, I don't. You know,
you're not an Oprah fan.
You don't know, but I don't think Oprah likes me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she would.
She probably doesn't like anyone, if we're being honest. She's probably just like Oprah.
But no, I get what Joe Rogan's all about. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
My
He's
wife might disagree with me.
He's a pretty
but-
open person. Joe Rogan's very open.
I just like that he raises questions. I wish
He
more
really
people
does.
did
You know,
that,
that's the main thing. Like
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, I think that's a perfect description of who he is. Like he really just wants to raise questions.
Yeah, like his elk hunting, I couldn't give two shits about that. But
Right,
like,
right.
The way he asks questions, the people he has on, I think are really interesting and really.
John Stewart's another type of person
Yeah,
similar to that.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
like I just want to ask questions and I just want to talk about logic and reason and like why aren't we doing this? Why like this doesn't make sense? Like Joe Rogan and John Stewart both like approach like our culture in a very similar way of just like kind of picking it apart of being like, well, this just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It does not make sense.
Yeah.
You know, and they're both, I mean, obviously John Stewart, but like they're both fairly politically active. I mean, and John Stewart goes to like house meetings and shit like that. And so like he's very involved, but,
He actually was just at one.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following that a little bit. It's always on at the gym and it's subtitled.
way.
And so like I'm literally like I'm like rowing and I'm listening to like monuments and just like smashing a workout and then I'm like reading subtitles by John Stewart and I'm just like, oh yeah, he's really unhappy right now that they're not passing anything to support like 9/11 first responders. And so it's just this really strange paradox of existence I find myself in. Like
What's your conspiracy? Do you have one? The one that you just get rid of immediately?
What do you mean?
Like if you could just debunk any conspiracy and be like
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck those people. We've actually talked about this many times. I'm a Jew, and I give Nazis more respect than flat earthers. I do, but my reason is actually logical, because as much as I disagree with what they did and who they are, they at least believed in their way of life, and their people had an ethos that was grounded in logic, maybe false logic, maybe illogical logic, but the logic was grounded in humanity. Flat earthers are fucking retarded because they believe something is flat that they've seen is round. So they
Yeah.
are fucking idiots.
Yeah, I just think, yeah. So let's, again, this is like where we lose a lot of people because
We gain people here.
that's what the numbers say. I can't disagree with that. That's literally.
I just say what people really think.
Well,
and then you try to tame it back. And sometimes you fail.
Sometimes I fail, but I'm also I'm gonna steer into the skid with this one. I'm gonna lean real hard into it. Like,
Sometimes he tries to reel it back, and sometimes he tries to drown it.
well, but here's the thing. Let's objectify the existence of Nazis just for the sake of this argument. Obviously, no one here is condoning like Nazism, racism, genocide, anything that the Nazi Party stood for now or back then in the 40s, 30s. Like, I feel like I need to disclaimer that because if I don't, even though it's fairly obvious how I feel about it,
Right.
I feel like someone, if I don't say that before I go into what I'm about to say, will straight up be like 1 star, bunch of fucking racists on that show.
Maybe on the count of 3, we all just say fuck Nazis
Like,
and just
yeah.
make it
1,
very
2, 3.
fuck
Nazis.
Nazis. Yeah.
All
Steve,
right.
say it, Steve. Steve. Steve, where are you, man?
Steve didn't say it. Steve is a racist.
Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dying.
This is Joyce is going to listen to this episode. The only descriptor is going to be like the guys talk about how racist their friend Steve is, who isn't around to defend himself.
Yeah, also
That's
in the
gonna be
band
the
Secret Social Club.
No, so I feel like that I always have to like lead into things like that with
Of
just
course,
the disclaimer of just like I am not a racist. I do not support the Nazi Party in any fathomable way whatsoever, no matter how you dissect it. But if you want to look at it objectively and like in defense of Matt's point of Nazis versus flat earthers, not that those two ideals are even relatable or comparable, but the mentality behind someone who could support both of those things is like what we're addressing here. And so it's not about flat earthers, it's not about being a Nazi. It's about the mentality behind someone that could get behind that type of idea. If you look at German culture from the turn of the century through the 40s, whenever Hitler came into power, Jewish people were devaluing their dollar, and they were coming in, they were like taking over industry. Someone's going to fact check me on this, but based on like what I have studied and learned, like Jewish people were kind of like ruining the German economy. And it like that was kind of like a tipping point and like what kind of led into a lot of resentment towards Jewish people. And then obviously they took it to an extreme, to say the least. But there were actually a lot of like social and socioeconomic reasons why a lot of German people and people in the National Socialist Party were against Jewish people and Jewish people living in their society and in their culture. So to them, even though they were wrong, they looked at real reasons in their society and said, this is causing problems and fucking my life up, and we need to do something about this. And then they went way hard and they went way
too hard.
Yeah.
But it started with a logical
I mean,
idea.
Whether it was logical or not, it started with evidence of being like, this is happening, I'm not okay with it. Now, again, I'm not saying that like Jewish people were wrong first and then the German people just went too far. I'm not saying any of that. Like, I'm not a historian.
Right.
All I'm saying is that like, to Matt's point, like people like in the German government and society at that point in time were looking at how their economy was being affected by a lot of these other people moving into their country.
So for the nerds listening, let me just break this down for you. He basically is saying that the Jews are Hydra and Zola, and they decided to go underground and just take over everybody's money through back doors, aka entertainment and law, and not through food and money, but they came to the same conclusion that they did back then.
That's 100% right. No. So, from that perspective, I'm not even remotely like pacifying or condoning or even defending like Nazism or
Germans in general.
In that time period, well, even Nazis today, like fuck, if you're a Nazi today or even remotely racist today, like you can go fuck yourself. But like, I'm not even remotely trying to like justify it. I'm just saying that those people looked at something and they had a response based on what they saw in their society, and they made a decision to believe in something because of what they saw in their society, even though it was wrong. People who are flat earthers have all of the world's technology, more technology now than has ever existed accumulatively over the course of the entire human existence at their fingertips. We literally, over the course of 50 years, sent men to the moon in like a fucking tin can with a calculator as its navigator and brought them back safely. And then now I have a phone that has more processing power than the first spaceship. Mm-hmm. And you're telling me that the Earth is not round.
Okay. Yeah. So that brings me to mine,
that is
which
the
is
stupidest like group of people on the planet.
Do you think it's the same people? Because mine is the moon landing.
Yeah,
Mine's
really
the moon landing.
similar. Really similar.
Are these the same people? Are this the flat
some of them
earthers?
probably are. A lot of them probably are. I'm guessing. Yeah. No, as far as I know, the flat Earth conspiracy does not like
they go. It goes only flat Earth to moon landing, not moon landing to flat Earth.
Yeah.
So if you're a flat earther, the moon landing was a conspiracy.
So
if you're a moon landing conspiracy theorist, you don't necessarily are a flat earther.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, and I also
and if
don't
you're
think
a flat earther and believe the moon landing's real, you're out of your fucking mind.
I'm going to kill you. Like,
you're probably a Nazi.
I want to meet.
You're probably a Nazi.
I believe that in the universe, every potential outcome is possible. So I just want to meet the person who believes the Earth is flat, that we landed on the moon, and that reptilians run society. That person is a legend.
That person exists, I feel like, by the 100 in like fucking Echo Park. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you go to East LA, man, I feel like they're all over the place.
I feel like
all
that
those
would actually
weird
be
nerds,
an
like,
amazing story to write. Like, think of like the weirdest 5 conspiracies to contradict each other, and then follow someone that believes them in a book, and everyone ostracizes them, and then halfway through the book, it all is true.
That would be bizarre. My brain would break.
It would be like a Twilight Zone book.
It would absolutely be like a
Well, it'd
Twilight
be fun
Zone.
though, right? I should kind of do. I think that's kind
like
of
the
cool.
only thing to relate it to is the Twilight Zone because it would be so bizarre if that person existed. But they do.
Have you seen the video of Buzz Aldrin punching the guy in the face?
I have. It's really this.
He clocks this fucking guy.
This video is what gives the moon landing conspiracy people all of their leverage. Is
Right.
that there's a video on the internet, really easy to search, that a dude says, "Buzz, did you land on the moon?" And Buzz doesn't answer. He's like, "Come on, answer. Did you land on the moon?" And he just fucking socks
He's
him.
trying to get him to swear on the Bible.
Yeah, tries to get him to swear in the Bible that he landed on the moon, socks him, and walks away.
What do you think is going to happen when you antagonize a hard-ass old man?
Yeah. This guy went to the fucking moon. He could beat your ass.
Yeah, well, and also, it's like, he's probably thinking, I went to the moon.
Yeah.
Like, I have worked for an organization that has provided more technological advancements for science and medicine for the rest of humanity than you could even possibly imagine. And you're hung up on this one stupid internet fad that grew into a movement. I'm going to punch you right in the face. That was the right response.
It was more because he was antagonizing. And
He was being super intense. Well, that's the thing about conspiracy, like people who are like hardcore conspiracy theorists, no matter what they believe in, they're really antagonistic.
Yeah.
Like they want to provoke you into proving their point, and then they immediately settle in to like the opposite reaction and try to like appear to be the more reasonable person. Be like, see, you're crazy.
Right.
It's like, first of all, it's like fucking gaslighting. It's hyper manipulative.
Yeah.
But it's also, if you know that that's what you're doing, like obviously don't go Buzz Aldrin and punch someone in the face, or do. That like 1,000% will endorse that till the end of time. But like, if you want to, like, there's no way to win an argument with someone like that because they're preparing to argue, but they want to argue.
Yeah.
They want to engage because they have like done the research and they know how to prove you wrong. They know how to disagree with everything that you're saying. They know how to present something that's more logical, more reasonable, more probable. Like they know how to pick apart every aspect of your argument. They want to argue with you. That's the point, because they want to prove you wrong, because they want everyone to know that this thing that they think is hidden is right. That's why there's no point in arguing with them, even though it's reasonable to assume that they're wrong. There's no point in arguing with them because like you're gonna lose if you engage.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think that Buzz Aldrin was right in just punching the guy in the fucking head and walking away. Like that's what you do. That's the response. Like you're not gonna win an argument with someone like that.
Yeah. And even if he didn't, like, I'd still punch him in the face.
Still punch him in the face for sure.
Let's just say
that was literally
hypothetically.
just like a disgruntled old man not having time for that shit and just being like, I am.
So
You hit him, so you have to watch this video, dude.
All right.
It's pretty
You hear it just
amazing.
like-
you hear it, and you know it's not edited.
Man, that's
The
great.
dude socks him. But also, I say this all the time. My granddad was in World War II, has a Distinguished Flying Cross, Purple Heart, all around gangster. He did some things in the war that I'm not comfortable talking about on air.
Yeah.
But I say this all the time. They don't make men like they did in that era.
No, they don't.
They don't like we're bitches, all three of us, and we're like men.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if we're bitches, Echo Park men are fucking pussies.
Oh gosh.
I don't know, man. I'm from Anaheim, all right? I have a little...
You are not from Anaheim.
No, I'm from Laguna Hills, but...
Even worse.
I live in Anaheim.
You're just getting bougier and bougier, like by the minute. You're like, well, I'm really not like from West LA. I'm from like the Hollywood Hills. So like, that's amazing. No, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, like, because like the definition of like what makes a man is like so subjective, and it changes depending on who you ask. You know,
I think what makes man is being Kyle. Aww.
that's what I was about to get to. I'm glad you saved our
No,
listeners some
you
time.
like to you're a woodsman. You've had your partying years, and now they're behind you, and you're now more refined. You edit music. You have a talk show. It's a very 2019 human.
Yeah, I mean, like you're looking at like the things that I do, but like I'm looking at it from the perspective of like who you are and like
That is who I am.
I'm
I
like,
am my work.
I think the measure and like, well, let's just take man out of it for a second. Let's just take like, let's just say like good person or like quality person or like meaningful person or like whatever you want to assign to it. Like, I don't think it's a men specific thing. And I actually think that that's like gotten to, like, I'm not trying to shit on your argument, Matt. I'm just saying like, I think that we've kind of gotten to a point in society though, to where we have said like, well, we just need to like it was just like, it's just like, be a man. You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that mean? You know, like, you can't, it's this weird indescribable thing that, like, I think a lot of people, like, kind of like know what you're implying, which is, it's just like deal with it, or like toughen up, or like don't be affected, or, you know what I mean? But like, I think the measure of, you know, what I would consider to be just a very like meaningful and like wise and secure person is like is really like how the impact that's left on others when they're around. And so, like, if you really want to look at the character of someone, look at how they are impacting others around them, and how they're influencing others around them, and how people are responding based on things that they're doing and saying, you know. And so, like, I'm like, over the years have focused significantly less on like what I do now, and like focusing more on like how I act and who I am, because like it's way less important to me now to push my career forward. And even though like I know it's important and I care about it, it's way less important to me than like listening to my wife and like making sure that my son has like a good example.
Yeah.
You know, and like being kind to people whenever I meet them and being willing to help. And like I would rather you know, donate my time to help someone learn how to do something than charge for like a lesson, you know?
Yeah.
And we talked about that in the last episode. But yeah, I just like, I don't know, like what does that mean? Like, first of all, I completely agree with you. Like, they don't, like, people, they just don't ship men out like they used to. Those are hard motherfuckers. Like, you can't acknowledge that. It's like, people like that are just like, man, those guys just, like, they just did it. Well, they did it because they had to, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, no one else was going to. We'd all be speaking fucking Japanese right now if
Man,
it wasn't for
High
those
Castle.
guys. Yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah.
which, by the way, everyone thinks that Germany would have won World War II. I think that Germany defeated themselves because they didn't know how to defeat Russia. I think Japan would have taken over the world.
I don't know. Do you watch
I
Ancient
actually-
Aliens?
Don't
Matt
disagree
does,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah, I do.
Because Germans had a little help.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No. So there's actually an amazing Netflix documentary called Nazi Mega Weapons.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah,
Like, so
it's
I think I
I've
put
seen
you
part,
on.
I've
yeah.
seen part of it.
So
It's
you have to watch
ridiculous.
it.
Okay.
The whole series is mind blowing, but the specifics episode on their planes and their avionics, they were banned from flight for decades after World War I because they lost World War I also.
Mm-hmm.
But their planes were still more efficient than anyone else's planes in World War II.
Oh, up until like the 60s, they were the most technologically superior
So they definitely got some
country.
help,
Like,
right?
Yeah.
But to Kyle's point, they would have lost World War II because they defeated themselves. Because they, for whatever reason, did not close in quarters. This is like to the benefit of the world, right?
No,
but like if
definitely.
you like look at it from like just like a war board, like just like looking at it strategically, when Russia decided to say fuck you to Germany, they should have pulled everyone out of Europe and created a defensive line on that side.
Oh, absolutely.
And they didn't.
They spread themselves way too thin.
Instead,
Yeah.
they were like, we're going to come to you, Russia. And they totally mismanaged the trek from Germany to Russia by foot. So
Oh,
60% of their field troops died on that, like, walk
Well,
to
and
get to Russia.
and as a
So Russia
result-
just took them out easy.
Well, and as a result, the Battle of Stalingrad was just, they were
was
just,
a joke,
they just
yeah.
erased them from existence.
Yeah.
Like,
We're also huge history buffs.
Yeah, no, likewise, yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that
there's
far.
one-
I like history. But,
I love history.
No,
I like
I
American
love
history because I'm not
Yeah.
smart enough to remember, like, retain more than that, you know? Like, a couple hundred years is as far as I can go.
That's fair.
Which is my wife's European, so it's, like, a bit different for them. Where I'm like, yeah, well, we got this guy, George Washington. He was pretty cool. And
she's like, oh, how many queens ago is that for you? And you're like,
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Like,
Like-
I don't know, 7?
3 or 4.
We had one episode early on. I won't need to say who it is, but you'll know that we literally just like history lesson schooled him the whole time.
I don't remember. Oh, that's been a while.
Yeah. But that was just a history lesson.
Oh, pretty much. Oh, but not because he thought he knew more.
No, because he was learning.
He was just like, I don't know about this. What's going on? And we're just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's just like, well, let's just talk about it. He's like, dude, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was so many episodes.
So
ago.
yeah, so I think I think Japan would have won the war if we didn't. I mean, think about just.
I think so. Like,
just think about logically. We didn't nuke Germany. We nuked Japan.
well, and
Sure.
Germany also didn't pull us into the war. Japan pulled us into the war after Pearl Harbor. Like, we entered World War II because of Japan. We didn't enter because of Germany.
Right.
Like, that's just, it's crazy. Granted, like Churchill and all of the British Allied forces played a huge role too, but I think that like Germany just kind of got to the point where they just exhausted themselves. So
Yeah, they ran out of bodies.
yeah, even though every piece of machinery and weapon they had was superior to what anyone else had in the world. Like
Well, but
their
that's
guns,
why
their planes.
one country was able
their
to
tanks.
take over the whole world.
Oh, they took over most of Europe on their own.
Yeah,
Just
on their
straight
own.
up on their
Well,
own.
I think they underestimated everything and everyone. I think that was Germany's whole problem. They were so arrogant in the way that
Because they had aliens.
fought.
super. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were like, yo, I got this fucking alien.
They're like,
here.
well, when
Yeah.
these guys, when my big brother gets here, you're all in trouble.
Yeah.
Like some schoolyard fight.
I know.
like,
I know we had a thing about Nazis, and I don't. Maybe we could say it again, like fuck Nazis. But wouldn't it be funny if Hitler was the only man that has gone through a portal to a different dimension?
Very possible.
In the history of existence,
that's crazy.
isn't it? Fuck.
I mean, I think he saw some
They
shit.
just like.
I mean, that is
knows?
in essence just slightly modified the origin story to Captain America.
They
Yeah.
couldn't have picked a worse person, though.
I know.
Right?
Well,
I mean, Red,
well, but there's also
they
like
Marvel just couldn't make Hitler a villain in a comic book, so they created the Red Skull.
Right.
right,
But Red
who is
Skull
a way
is-
cooler villain anyway.
But he is Hitler.
He's basically Hitler.
He's
yeah.
Hitler.
He's
right?
definitely Hitler.
And he had alien technology to fight Captain America. So what we're saying is history to the MCU.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what was I going to say? Oh, well, there was also a lot of drug use in the Nazi Party, which a lot of people don't acknowledge or talk about or even know
I didn't
about.
know
But,
that.
Like, there's a lot of drugs
Yeah.
in there too, and so who knows what they were seeing and doing and like or what they were actually experiencing? Like, I don't know. Here's a follow-up question regarding conspiracies. Sorry, everybody. Like, we're doing this like super fun like Secret Social Club band music episode, but we're just pretty much talking about conspiracies the whole time.
This is
Yeah.
great.
No, but then, you know what? But you're super
There's a
into it
Secret
too.
Social
Well,
Club
yeah, we'll
is
tie
a
it back in.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. The
Yeah.
Secret Social Club is a conspiracy. Well, but you
Or are we?
Yeah.
Maybe we're not.
Well, you,
Start a conspiracy to see if we're a conspiracy.
well, you're not in the fucking club. Here's a question: do you believe Hitler did not commit suicide and actually escaped on a U-boat and went to Argentina?
I
and
do.
Died as an old man in Argentina.
Yeah, I think
No.
that. Yeah, no, I'm very much of that belief.
Interesting.
No, I think he
Interesting.
shoved a cyanide capsule up his asshole and died. I would. What would you do? I don't know. Why would we?
I don't know if I
don't
could
know.
actually kill
Well, no,
myself.
but
like-
you know that there's a lot of proof that he was in
I don't.
Argentina. Yeah, there's
I
a
don't know
lot
this,
of
yeah.
proof. Yeah, there's
So-
a lot of proof
Well,
that he's
and
in
like-
I've never heard that.
the United States
Well,
also
most,
did not
most
take.
Nazis. What's the word I'm looking for? When you
like a whistleblower.
no. When you defect, most Nazis
Oh,
defected to
absolutely,
Argentina.
they did because they didn't want
Like
to. They didn't
90
want to get tried. Like they knew the Nuremberg trials were coming up, and they're like,
that's like a real thing.
Oh,
like
definitely.
A lot of the so the high up ranking Nazis either defected to South America or pled that they were brainwashed and NASA hired them.
Well, they were-
Legitimately.
no, that's absolutely true. And there are actually documentaries talking about
Right.
like the last living Nazis. They go around, they find them, and a lot of them are in South America, and they like go walk up to their door, and like some of them are actually like kind
yeah,
of
Van Braun. What's his name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't
Yeah,
remember his name.
the guy that like wrote the formula for NASA to go to space. Was
It was a Nazi. Yeah, okay, I saw that. I did see
yeah,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
So there is like straight up proof, evidence, that's true. We know that. We've talked to those people. We've seen them. We've
Well, yeah.
benefited from their work. Well, first of all, also the United States benefited from a lot of like World War II era German technology past that anyway. But that's also like we're talking about that. And so like, but there's
Oh, you know what I just
evidence.
realized? I'm sorry, but it just like clicked in my head. Area 51 was created post World War II, post Nazis coming to work for NASA.
That's true. Maybe they brought alien
That's what
technology
I'm
over, and
saying.
we needed somewhere to hide it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to talk about
That
the area.
timeline, I never.
I
Like,
want to talk to Area 51 here in a minute because I'm
Bob
about
Lazar.
to.
Is Bob
I don't
Lazar
know.
German?
wow. If he is, I don't know. I don't think so.
That's the real
I'm going home
conspiracy.
if that's it.
I don't think
Yeah.
Lazar is a German name.
Right, but that's not his real last
Yeah.
name, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Lugenhagen.
Yeah. Oh man. So there's like Russia never released like autopsy reports whenever they were supposed to take Hitler's body. Like there's just a lot of like things that are just like, yeah, Russia was supposed to take it, and when we asked them about it, like they didn't have it. There's a lot of like people that are saying that there were like body doubles, or that there was like someone else that they took that wasn't Hitler. Hitler actually left. You know, I don't know. I mean, like I've read a lot about things surrounding that point in the war, and then things following up after it. And I don't know, there's part of me that still is just kind of like, no, it went down the way that they said it went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is, but there's just this other side that's just like,
conspiracies.
that's what conspiracies do, man.
Yeah.
There's like one logical thing about the whole thing, and it sucks you in, and then you're just like, damn it. And so you just like get like torn, and you're just like, but I mean, if any part of that is true, and some of it is provable, like that's the thing with conspiracy, like some of it's provable, not all of it. And so you can't outright make the case for something.
It's not that it's provable. It's that it's believable.
It's believable. Yeah. So it's just, there's some things that are straight up like Hitler absolutely could have gone to Argentina and died as an old man.
Right.
But then, like, people were just like, well, we would have, like, have known about it. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have.
What about Bin Laden
the
then?
hell you wouldn't have? Nah, I think we got Bin Laden.
You think we dropped him in
Yeah,
the water
I think SEAL Team 6, like,
Me too.
did that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my patriotism speaking, but I also straight up believe that, like, that happened.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't matter how long into this episode.
This is
It does
fun.
not matter how long into this episode we are. And the reason why I wanted to be a little conscious of time is because this could be a 10-minute conversation, or we could go for another 45 minutes on this one topic.
Ooh, what is it? So just tell me.
But I have maybe not so many things. Maybe once we get into it, I'll only have one thing that I want to say about it, and then that'll be it. But what do you guys think about the whole Storm Area 51 nonsense?
I think it's the funniest shit ever.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it is so stupid.
I think it's dumb, but it's hilarious. I think anybody who shows up is a fucking idiot.
But
You'll die. You will
there
die.
are a lot of fucking idiots out there.
Yeah, but don't be, you know what I mean? Like, how do they get that far if they're that dumb? You know what I mean? How do they get on
know.
a plane if you're gonna, like, they'll kill you.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Dude, no, Marines have been tweeting photos of themselves in cars being like, got to go to this meeting about the Storm Area 51 shit.
Have you seen?
They're already like, the Area 51 is already like, okay, well, didn't think that we would have to do that. Well, okay, so the one of the gosh, I can't remember her role. She's very high up in. She's a high-ranking military officer. She's been at Area 51 for a long time, and basically, this woman released a statement in the most respectful, diplomatic way. Said, we take what we do here very seriously, and our jobs are to defend the things on this base from whoever we need to defend it from, no matter what. And we are always going to like work to do our jobs and defend this country. Like, that was a very diplomatic statement. It was very respectful. I feel like these fucking mouth breathers that are like creating this movement to go storm Area 51, that just went way over their head because of how reasonable it was. What she, in her very respectful professional words, just said was, we will kill you on sight if you show up. That's what that means.
Right, but
We will kill you on
yeah,
sight.
but what that means is, to conspiracy theorists, they'll kill 10 people on site, so let's get 500,000 people here.
Yeah, I think that they don't understand like what our military is capable of.
No. I think
they're underestimating our own military.
Do you think anybody would feel bad too? Like,
No, but I don't know. I disagree with
is
you.
that
I don't
just
think so.
let me make sure I'm very clear. Military would wipe 500,000 people off the planet like that. No problem.
Right.
But the consequence of that would be all-out anarchy.
or would it?
It would be. I think our country would fall the second that we killed that many people for storming a military base.
I don't think so, because I think that like the illegal federal offense of like trespassing on a military facility in an aggressive manner to obtain information is absolutely appropriate to respond violently. If you already warn them, don't do this, and it's also common sense not to go onto that base, and you're saying I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
There's like that's literally like suicide by cop whenever guys like rob banks and they're just like, oh, well, I can't win, so I'm just going to run out and start shooting because I know I'm going to die. Like, that's kind of what that's like.
Yeah.
It's like, you know you're going to die. Like, what they're doing is they're literally saying, well, yeah, we know that this is like a maximum security government military facility, and we know that they're going to defend it no matter
you can't
what.
mow down humans like that.
But they will though, because like our government,
Can I bring it back around?
like our military will be a
That's
slave.
how Nazism started.
No.
Yes.
No.
Nobody was trying to infiltrate.
Nobody was trying to overthrow a military
Yeah.
facility in their own country, and they responded defensively.
No, but it's similar. It's like justification
Okay.
of mass
No,
murder.
it's totally different.
If
It's not mass murder. It's not mass murder. It's not mass murder. Like, you're saying, like
It's defense.
no matter how many people show up to Area 51, it's a maximum security military facility that it's common knowledge that is a federal offense. You will go to federal prison for trespassing.
Right.
Right.
That's what they should do.
Right. But these people are saying by any means necessary. They're literally saying
if they take a gun and shoot it in the air, then they should get mowed down.
that's gonna happen. These people are
Right.
that stupid.
No,
These
no,
people
no,
are
no,
that stupid.
That I'm with you on. I was saying, like, if they just like march to the gates, they can't be mowed down.
I agree with that, but these people
No, if they
are
have
saying,
a weapon in their hand, they're dead.
even if they don't have a weapon, if they forcefully enter
But you
a
know-
military base with the
But if our
intent
government
of
was
retrieving
smart,
information,
if our government was smart, first off, Area 51 has been public knowledge for so long that I
Right.
doubt anything of any real consequences there anymore.
completely agree.
I think it's. I
And
think
for
it's
the
agree.
record, that's why I think this is so dumb.
I agree,
think
yes,
it's right. I think it's
absolutely.
a proxy.
Yeah.
That's a bigger picture
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Two,
I agree.
I think they should. I think the military should just fucking open the doors because there's probably nothing in there anyway. I guarantee you there's underground tunnels to get shit out of Area 51. There has to be an underground system that they can get things in and out, never needing to be seen in the daylight.
I agree.
100%.
I agree, and I think they're connected to the Denver airport. Another conspiracy.
100%.
Another conspiracy.
So my point is, I think it'd be fucking hilarious if they just moved everything out and then just were like, yeah, come check it out. It'd be fucking hilarious.
That's amazing. Well, that's basically what North Korea does every time the UN comes for like missile inspections. Shit, like, oh no, there's nothing here. I'm like, they're hiding that shit. Look harder. Like, come on, man. Well, that's a Team America World Police. They made that joke whenever
Yes.
Hans Bricks went over, and he was like, Hans Bricks, and then he like feeds him to the sharks. Yeah, dude. Gosh, that movie's so funny. No, I agree. Like, if they like just walked up to the. If they walked up to the gates, the military is also procedural enough to be like, well, you're technically not doing anything yet, but like, we're going to have to ask you to move. They'd start arresting people. They would start like shooing people out. Like that would realistically be what
No,
happened.
no.
on
Have
the-
you seen the videos of people
They're like
trying
on the
to?
hill right now, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They're like right there, right?
Who?
People.
Well, it's not till September. The thing
No,
is,
it's
the
in
date's not till
September.
September.
No one's going. No one's going.
Wait, I'm confused.
There's no way they're gonna block. There's only like 4
Area
roads into Area 51. And as soon as you enter that, have you seen the videos where these guys are on their like literally dirt bikes, like dirt biking around, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, a white truck just pops up and 2 guys out with their guns, being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they're like, "This is military grounds. You know that. What are you doing? Turn around. Put your hands behind your back." And they thought they were like at first they're like, well, why can't we? I don't understand what's so secret. And they're trying to play it cool. And the guy's
Right.
like, look, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't shut up.
Oh, because yeah, exactly.
You're on military grounds. Like
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it does not matter.
and they're looking at these 2 guys like, look, I'll fucking shoot you.
Yeah, you really think the military,
Yeah.
like our defensive, like sensitive government that's territorial and aggressive to people who are making threats, you really think that they're going to like respond reasonably if 1,000 or 20,000 people storm up and literally go like, let us in? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, think about this.
Like-
think about if you were a terrorist,
Yeah.
you know,
Go on.
and you wanted to infiltrate a military base, When would you do it? When there's 500 other fucking 1,000 people walking to the same military base, like
Exactly.
you don't know. Like if I was the government, I'd be thinking like, okay, well, any of these motherfuckers could be.
Well, and
you
with
know?
that many people too, you just have no idea what someone's going to do. You have
Yeah.
no idea what's going to happen, and that's why the military is going to take the stand. If this in any way, in any amount of people, no matter what, in any capacity, if this takes place, the military is going to take the stance of they've been warned. This has been very public for a long time now of them talking about what they're going to do and us releasing statements very clearly saying, please do not do this. They're going to assume that they have been reasonably warned and that they know that it's, again, a maximum security military facility. They're trespassing aggressively in an attempt to obtain information from the U.S. government that the military has been ordered to protect by any means necessary.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen? That's common sense. People, they are going to fucking kill people if they try to forcefully enter Area 51. I agree with Matt. People probably are not going to make it beyond the gate. Our military is probably going to be a lot smarter about it, and they're going to set up more border defenses in preparation and start rounding people up. They'll probably arrest people. They'll probably have like checkpoints and things like that entering into the part of the state that leads to Area 51. But if anyone did go up to getting even remotely close to that facility and tried to forcefully enter, no matter how many of them there were, the military is absolutely justified in shooting those people, and I defend that. Like, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
It's the same logic as like my house. I have a gate in front of my driveway. If someone says like, I know you have something in your house that like, I know you have a book in your house that I really want to read, and I know that it's in there, and like next week, me and all my friends, we're going to come and we're going to come inside and we're going to take this book because we know it's in there and we really want to read it. And I say, okay, first of all, thanks for letting me know when you're going to show up, you stupid asshole. Like that, by the way, I think is the dumbest part of this whole thing is that they're saying like, well, this is the day we're going to go try and take down an entire defense system.
It's because social media desensitizes people from understanding what
it absolutely does.
Well, the original Facebook post said, I think once the kid realized how many people were involved, he even did an interview where he mentioned how like he thought the FBI was going to show up at his door and shit. But he even mentioned in there a disclaimer saying, "Hey, this is fake. Like, don't fucking do this."
It's gotten too much traction
but
now.
I think that kid should put that admin page for sale, and someone could buy that. I was telling Matt this the other day, and he laughed me out of the room. But at Alien Fest and make it a music festival, and you just bought yourself 3.5 million fucking people who already RSVP'd to go to this place anyway. Why not get a place 30 minutes outside Vegas? Get every fucking band, DJ you can think of, make everything alien themed, and fucking no one's gonna give a fuck if they see an alien or not.
This is how Firefest started.
Yeah. What's that guy's number?
This is how Firefest started. His name, his name's Billy McFarland, and this is how Firefest started. So I cannot support it. But what I'm saying is that like to dumb this argument down and to prove the perspective. It's literally like me having a book and the guys being like, "We're gonna come to your house," and then me like, "Okay, please do not come like up to my gate." Like, I can't control if you're going to be on the sidewalk or in the street. I don't own that. The city of Burbank owns that. But I have a family inside. I also have things in my home that are valuable to me. I don't want you coming into my house. You're not allowed in here. And there's no reason for me to have to defend that to you because it's not your fucking house.
Yeah.
So if you come to my gate and try to get in after you've been warned, I'm going to shoot you because I'm also going to meet you with a gun.
But you know that's
going to happen.
You know that you would
rip your
actually be
throat
in the
out.
wrong.
No, it wouldn't.
There's a crazy court case that you have to read that's mind blowing. Dude breaks into this family's house through the chimney, falls on a knife, sues the family.
No, that's just because that
wins.
guy has a better lawyer. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that the law is in that guy's favor. That means that that guy has a better lawyer, and they found a way through technicalities to win that game of arguing in court.
That happens all the time, though. when
That
people break into
absolutely
houses.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I also have been very, very, very diligent in my like rights as a property owner.
Oh.
And because like I own my home. Like for anybody of you listening right now, like I'm not renting this house. Like I've talked to like I own my house and I own guns and I am very regularly communicative with Los Angeles and Burbank sheriffs talking about my rights of someone breaking in because this is the biggest fear that I have is someone breaks into my house and I shoot them either on purpose or by accident out of fear. and I get sued or I go to jail and I'm no longer around for my family. That's a huge fear. That's a real thing. So that's why my first response is to always just like lock ourselves in our room, call the police, not engage, not going to try and be a hero. Like I'm not going to try and like Rambo myself into saving my family. I think that's super stupid. Having said that, though,
I fully endorse you going Rambo.
no, if it was like if that was the only option, like I obviously wouldn't do anything other than that. But like what I'm saying is that like if someone breaks into your house and they forcefully enter your property, like even in a liberal state and city like California, like you're within your rights to defend your homes, like lethally defend your home. And you know what a sheriff told me? I swear on anything that you have ever loved in your life, word for word, a sheriff told me this. If someone breaks into your property and they don't come into your house, but you think they're going to come into your house and you shoot them and they die, before you call the police, drag them into your house so you don't have to go to court. I swear to God.
Yeah. I had a friend whose dad was...
Yeah. So that's a guy in law enforcement, and he's being that lax about being just like, yeah, like I know what the law says, but like, protect yourself, do it. How do you think a bunch of 21-year-old like military men and women are going to be whenever they're like, we're protecting something that like is beyond secretive, like our families can't even know what's in this facility? How do you think they're going to respond whenever a bunch of fucking rednecks show up and they're just like, let us in?
And keep in mind, these people are trained to shoot to kill.
That's absolutely right.
For that exact reason.
Exactly.
You know, and so like you're not going to leave there with a wounded leg and government money. You're
I do wonder, like,
absolutely,
if there are aliens in there and these people know that, they will kill instantly.
Oh, yeah.
But if there's not aliens in there and it's like kind of like a fox paw, then like maybe they might be a little more lax. Like the more they're aggressive to shoot on sight, the more it confirms to me that there's aliens in there.
Like the more defensive they are, the more proof it is that there's something they're hiding.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, let's be real, they're definitely not mowing down people if it's just advanced technology that we made.
I disagree. I think they're going to do it out of procedure and safety. Like I straight up think they're.
Well, let's be real. Also, is the government by September 20th could set up an entire new building and label it Area 51 and be like, "Come on in. See, there's nothing here. Who the fuck's gonna know?
Who even?
Who's gonna go through there and be like, Nah, this paint's too new. You know?
No, they know where Area 51 is.
Yeah, but
you can see the building.
Yeah, but it's really fucking far.
It's way out there. Well, you know what? It's for that reason alone that I think that...
And it's all underground.
And I think that, honestly, all of this is going to be stopped so far before anything happens because of how remote Area 51 is. All of these people, as soon as they're seen coming on radar, are going to get stopped
really funny?
Miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Like miles away.
I think it would just be really funny if they, like, just like, put a fucking epic minefield. And just as, like, you guys do you.
Like
come
American
and get
Gladiators.
Yeah, come if you want. We went and dug all these up from the Pacific Ocean from World War II. They're great.
With the Hunger Games.
Yeah, they're
If
fine.
you make
Desert.
it through this, you're welcome to come inside.
Yeah, you've earned it.
What?
Consider this a job application.
You know, I think the sad thing
Interview.
is... The sad thing about the whole thing, though, is you have these businesses that are completely changing their business model, thinking that all these people are going to be coming. Like, there's a hotel that's getting ready to set up an RV camp on their site and put all this money into it because they think they're going to have 500,000 or 1 million people show up and book out the rooms because her 12-room boutique hotel is already sold out. You know what I mean? For $69 a night or whatever. It's like
That's amazing.
But you're gonna fuck with people's economy. Like all those businesses that do rely on real tourism is gonna empty all their money into this September 20th shit, and no one's gonna show up. And if they do show up,
Why
they're not
they
gonna give a
pick
flying
September
fuck
20th?
about these businesses.
As a date,
I don't know.
it is. Well, it's the fall solstice. So I wasn't sure if there's like a symbiotic.
I don't know what the significance is. I mean, the original post was satirical, and so the fact that it's even got legs is beyond me. I cannot. With all the fake shit that gets posted on the internet that is way more plausible than this, the fact that this is something that gained traction is beyond me. It blows my mind. I just can't believe it. Like, but people are stupid.
Darwinism?
People are sheep.
Yeah.
Like, people are absolutely sheep.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is probably The Darwin effect at its finest right now.
So
you know?
anyway, do you guys want to carpool or?
Yeah,
Like, you
I mean
wanna-
that's the one thing that sucks is we are so close that we could be like in an afternoon, be like, well, I'll go see what's up.
How
you
like
know?
how early are you guys planning on leaving? I'm gonna go the night before.
How long is
Yeah.
that?
I'm gonna go the night
How long
before.
is
It's
it?
4 hours.
From LA to Area 51.
I think so. It's like an hour north of Vegas. I think. So it's like 5 hours or so. I think it's like an hour
mean-
northeast.
Should we go do a live episode from Area 51?
To be the. What if you guys were literally the only ones?
No, you know it'd be so amazing.
It's beautifully poetic.
Dude.
We're the only ones that show up.
Yeah,
We get
the
shot.
ones who went on and said, "We're not conspiracy theorists." Meanwhile, the whole time all
No,
we do
but
is
you know
talk
what
about
would be
That's
conspiracy
amazing.
theories.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
You know what would be brilliant? If people did show up and it was like a thing, but it was like safe, like it was like done right, and we showed up and we like interviewed everyone like seriously, like we stayed as serious as we could
Oh yeah,
and just interviewed everyone. It would probably go viral.
probably. I don't want to run the risk of getting served with some insane federal indictment for being part of this like group as a mass trespassing
Enabler.
against the government.
I mean, we wouldn't go past where you're legally allowed to go.
I don't even want to go near. I'm not going to leave the. I'm not going to leave Burbank the week that this is
I'm
happening.
kidnapping him.
Like this is not happening.
Oh,
Like
it's happening.
I'm not going anywhere near that. Like
I'm
I think
putting
it's the dumbest
cyanide
thing.
in
If you guys
Cake.
go, I just want to, especially you, if you go, I'm going to reflect back on this day when all we did for 45 minutes was talk about how
Oh, this has
stupid
been like an hour and 30
the people
minutes.
were who were going to Area 51.
You know what this is right now of us talking about this? This
Self-fulfilling prophecy?
No. This is the scene at the beginning of Independence Day whenever the alien ship is coming down
Thank
over the
you.
city. This is that scene, and all the friends, like Will Smith and Will Smith's like stripper wife or like fiance, girlfriend's friends or whatever, are like, we're going to go, come on. And then she's like, no, don't do it. And they're like, no, we're going to go up to the roof and see like this blue light from this shit's like the alien ship. And they all go up, they're like, no, don't go. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go. And everyone goes and they get beamed. They just get eradicated
Yeah,
by
I
these
would
aliens.
never do that though.
This is that, but the aliens are our government in this Area 51 thing. The aliens are the military in this situation, and everyone's just like, "No, let's go, let's see it." And everyone that's like normal is like, "Please don't, like,
Yeah.
just come on."
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some insane shit in that facility. But
In any military
Yeah,
facility,
you're gonna-
there is.
Area
Yeah.
51 actually doesn't have much. It's really S4.
Well,
Going
yeah.
back to Bob Lazar.
name one military base that they say does have much, though.
No, but S4. S4 is the
Right.
Is
It's-
the bunker behind Area 51, attached to Area 51, which is where Bob Lazar said the actual technology was
Right,
housed. I would assume that Area 51 is more procedural, has a lot of the paperwork, the generals, the people doing the big talking, so that it would only make sense that they were comfortable publicizing it so much that if it ever did get raided, it wasn't where the actual technology was.
Yeah, it's kind of like where I grew up. Is right south of us is a city called San Onofre, and it's got this huge. It's a chemical plant. Anyway, it's got these huge two bubbles that everybody's like, oh, if those things get hit by a jet, we're screwed. But they actually run all the toxic shit. What kind of plant is that? Anyway, but they run it all under the ocean. So they dig all these tunnels
Okay.
underneath the ocean. So there's nothing actually in the power plant. It's just an empty building, but everybody
Right.
thinks like, oh, it's. I feel like that's Area 51.
That's kind of there's
you
this
know?
facade that everyone's
Yeah.
like, "That's it," and you're like, "Well, no, all this other shit is that's what it is."
Yeah, I mean, it looks
Yeah.
like a couple hangars, like airplane hangars
Yeah.
more than anything. All that shit has to be underground. And I think it's in the mountains. I think they have the whole. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out.
We'll
What time-
see.
what
I
time we
think
leaving?
that- I think that I think that Wade. I think that you're more right about just like it's probably just going to be this big like it's probably going to impact the economy of that area more than anything of people preparing for a lot of people to show up and they don't, or a lot of people show up
And they
then
die.
there's this massive influx.
What
in,
if
like,
no
the
one shows
economy,
up,
and
and
then
then
they
all
leave
you
and then it
see-
drains everything like
And then all you see is an alien on screen being like, I thought we were raiding it.
yeah I know we
To
were
be-
prepared for you like.
To be fair, there's like 10 people that have come forward. To also be fair, after I texted you about Alien Fest, saying that they were going to do a similar thing. There's a college student, I think at NYU, that said he was going to throw like a music festival out there. But
Oh yeah.
if they had an event there that was alien themed, like kind of like we were talking about earlier, would you go? And I think my answer then would be, yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
Oh, hard pass.
Yeah, no, I would want to see all those freaks.
I
Have
don't
you ever
even-
been to, like, you've been to a festival? Have you ever been to a music festival in, like, Florida?
Yeah, I've played a lot of
A
them.
rock fest?
Yeah, I've played a lot of them.
Like,
They're
that is-
awful. It's the worst collection of people on the planet.
But it's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Oh
in my
yeah, it's
life.
great for people watching.
You know.
Oh yeah, I don't even go to this is how like quote unquote LA I am. I don't even go to shit I know I'm gonna like because I don't want to go.
Yeah.
So hard pass on a maybe. Like
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Would you go?
Yeah.
Whatever. Cheat Codes would probably like fucking do a set there and to be like, all right, well I gotta get Pyro and we're gonna like Cheat Codes is gonna headline this Alien Fest thing and like I'm gonna run all of my lights. That's what it would turn into, and then you would resent it because you'd have to work so much to advance it, and then you'd have to babysit. That's what
I hate
I'm just
doing that.
describing Matt's job right now.
Yeah. Well, not for much longer.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
How does that make you feel?
Excited. Relieved.
It's nice. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. Like the first time I woke up next to you in bed.
Excited and
Like the
relieved.
second through 99th times weren't as exciting.
No, definitely not as
Oh,
exciting.
okay, that's fair.
He just woke up relieved.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited. I was just relieved.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh man.
Are you yawning because you want to wrap it up?
No, I'm just yawning because I'm tired.
Well, Ellis is sleeping now. Finally.
Yeah, he's been asleep for a while. That's like his
He
new thing.
was just watching you, actually.
Yeah, he's like, I know, I see you. No,
Has he ever
having, like-
done that? Either like tap the camera, and be, I know you're there.
No, he's not tall enough to hit the camera, but he knows what it is, and that we watch him through that, and we talk to him through that, and so he'll stare up at it sometimes.
Like eagle eye.
Oh yeah, he'll just like look up at it, and he'll straight up talk to me, and be like, "Daddy, mommy, like, can you talk to me?" Or like, "Can you see me?" Like he's
What do you think
really
he thinks?
self-aware.
Does he think that that's an AI? He
I
probably
don't- he doesn't even understand the concept of what that is, so no.
no. He definitely does.
There are adults that don't even understand the concept of what AI is. My 2-year-old son does not understand. It's like, well, he knows what it is. He just doesn't know what to call it. I'm like, no, his
He's a prodigy.
brain doesn't even work that way. I agree with you. But his brain doesn't work that way. He's 2.
He does have the best dance moves in the party, though.
Oh, he's got killer dance moves. He loves it. No, my brother and his wife have 2 little girls, and one of them is a little bit younger than Ellis, and the other one's a couple years older than Ellis. And they have a baby monitor where you can talk to your kids through it. And they said that their oldest daughter just like it really scared her, and she just got freaked out. And like they would talk to her through it, and she would just be like, "Oh my gosh, like what is that?" No, she would just be like, "This is not for me."
Yeah.
I guess I didn't even really think about that whenever we started doing it with Ellis, but he just instantly was just like, "You're talking. My mom and dad are talking to me through this thing.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
get
talk.
it,
I now
yeah.
know I can talk back to you through it.
That's cool.
So I'm gonna sit up in bed and not go to sleep. I'm gonna talk to you through this thing, and we're just like, please go to sleep." That's cool though. He's not freaked out by it, but
All right.
he's a good kid.
I'm tired.
Uh,
Our listeners hate us now.
Dave, not like way before now.
No, just in this moment.
Just in this moment.
I really wish like this was the day that I wasn't here.
That's amazing.
That's perfect.
Come on, talk about your band. 10 minutes in. So what are reptilians? And then just fucking gone.
That's exactly right.
No, but that's like how we did it the
I
other
love
day.
it.
We were interviewing the owner of this cryotherapy thing, right?
Yeah.
And we would like be like, so yeah, like tell us about cryotherapy. And then 30 seconds in, we would just ask some ridiculous question. And then 5 minutes later, he would be like, all right, now bring it back to cryotherapy.
Yeah, which I commend him for, because like we've been trying to get better about staying on topic, but it's just like that's just how we are, and this.
No,
Yeah.
but to bring it full circle, if you stayed with us this long and you listened to us ramble with Wade for over an hour and a half, and you're still listening right now, then you think Wade's a cool dude, and go listen to fucking Secret Social Club, released on Hero Records.
Yeah, unless you're a flat earther,
No, yeah.
you're storming
If you're a
Area
flat earther,
51.
I do not want your money.
You think
Yeah.
9/11 was a conspiracy?
If you're a Nazi flat earther that doesn't believe that 9/11 happened, who has plans on September 20th, I don't want your money.
yeah.
Except if you believe in reptilians.
Unfollow
Then I
me.
want your money.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want your money if you believe in and or are potentially a reptilian, knowingly or unknowingly.
No, I love talking about it. I could talk about this every day.
Dude,
Thanks
we
for
talk-
having me.
We
This
talk
is
about a
cool.
lot, dude. Thanks for being here. Is there anything? Obviously, you're getting ready for the release of the first single, Gravity. It's going to be coming out in the fall. It's going to be attached to a motion comic release.
But it's actually our first motion comic mixed live music video.
Oh,
so we're
really?
doing a live video, and the storyline is I don't want to give too much away, but the storyline interacts with a animated trigger.
That's
so
cool.
we follow a live action storyline, and it ends in an animated story, and the two mesh together. And the comic book will have screen panels from the live video, from the recording. So the comic book
That's
will
awesome.
be 12 pages. 6 of those pages will be screenshots from the live. 6 will be animated, and the music video will be half animated and half live action. So it's a fully immersive dual experience between
That's
live
really,
and animation.
really rad. That's really rad.
Boom.
Dude,
Boom.
that's super exciting.
Yeah.
Well, can't wait to potentially work on that in post.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Can't wait to see like everything once it's developed. It's really awesome. Is there anything else you want to plug or tell people about your band or projects that you're working on or anything they should check out?
No, just follow us along on our social media. It's just search Secret Social Club, and
Dope.
I guess we'll see you once we release this song and see how it goes. And I'm excited. Yeah, thanks.
No,
guys.
that's great, man.
Yeah.
And we'll see you September 20th.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. What? I burped into the mic, didn't I?
Oh, no, I said I'll see you September 20th.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No way.
Because we're going to go.
Well, you know what I was thinking, just as like a way to end this? I feel like that's a vaccination.
Right. just
Like
going.
the people going are getting vaccinated from life.
No, we are all getting vaccinated. You know what that is? This episode is just never going to end. You know what that is? It's like that's the equivalent of like something in you that you're getting. So like we as humans, we're sending a bunch of like a small group of these humans to a place and they might die. That is like the vaccine equivalent of there's like a virus in you and you willingly go to get a vaccine to prevent that virus from ruining the rest of your life. But instead, all these people going to Area 51 is equivalent to the vaccine on its own deciding to leave your body to go get vaccine. Like that's what that's like. It's like the vaccine on its own, like the virus on its own is like
I'm rooting for those people.
I'm
'cause
out.
Whether they die or not, there's a chance that we learn about Area 51.
But you
There's
realize
no
these.
chance we
There's
learn
a
about Area 51.
0.5% chance.
Okay, but you realize the only people going are the extreme, like the people that actually take the time to buy the ticket, to get on the plane, take a bus, rent a car, get to Area 51.
No one buying a plane ticket to go there. They're all driving or walking.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Okay, so just imagine the type of people that are going to be there. And like 5 of those people in the same room as me would scare the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
So just imagine if 1,000 of these crazy...
Imagine 500,000.
over the top. No way. Imagine 10 it showed up. Like that's a lot for these people to deal with. 10 psychopaths.
Yeah, no, it is.
You know, like that's just like
Bro,
oh,
they might be like
fucking-
this is our Me Too movement. We're gonna finally get our answer.
This is our
We're
war.
gonna go on our march.
God.
That's just this is not going to end well. It's just not. Like honestly, it's probably going to result in just a big nothingness. It's going to be super anticlimactic.
That's the worst part about it.
That's
I
the
wish
worst part.
I wish that these people were loyal to their word.
They're probably not going to be.
No, they're
probably
not.
not going to be. Yeah.
Be loyal to your word. Your 9 to 5, $8 an hour job is not worth it. Go do this. Thank you. Bye. 1, 2, 3.
Fuck Nazis.